Hey everybody, I'm Effervescent and I stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday here and over on Twitch. And today we're talking about my top 3 ARs that are chasing the meta. The NZ has been meta for a while and honestly I'm getting tired of it. So I started working towards finding the next best AR. And these 3 have been my favorites. So I want to go ahead and jump right into it, starting off with the Automaton. So the Automaton had its day in the light at the beginning of Warzone Pacific, and it really hasn't been touched in the last few updates. It is still a very good AR, and with this build here, you're going to be able to counteract the recoil they added in through those various nerfs. So the new build for the Automaton that I've been rocking is the MX Silencer, the ZAC 600 barrel, the Carver foregrip. So this is mainly the only thing that's been updated is that Carver foregrip. This helps with the recoil control. We've got the 3.6 scope, the Anastasia padded stock, the 75 round drum, lengthened, polymer grip, tight grip, and fully loaded. This build is very versatile and it's been one of my favorites to use. All right, number 2 on the list would be the KG M40. So this gun was good when it was released, but it was not as good as the current meta at the time, which was the Automaton, STG, and now the NZ. It is very, very comparable to the NZ, and I think once that NZ gets nerfed, if this gun does not get any adjustments, it's probably going to take the top meta spot. So we have the Mercury Silencer, the Shrouded Barrel, Hand Stop, 60 round drum, lengthened, hatched grip, tight grip, fully loaded, the VDD 22G padded stock, and the 3.6 scope. This gun already has very minimal recoil, so you can play around with this underbarrel attachment. You can do the strafe angled. The Mark V skeletal is going to give you quicker ADS speed and movement speed, and I think you could get away with it on this AR. I always rock the hand stop. It's been my favorite, one of my favorite attachments for a while. I'd be interested to know which one you guys prefer down in the comments. All right, and coming in at number 3 is the Nikita. So the Nikita was released and nobody was impressed. It was released, it was an okay gun, but the recoil patterns on this gun and, you know, the meta that we were using at the time, it never got its day in the light. I started playing around with this gun and this particular build seems to be the best for recoil control and velocity. The big thing with the Nikita is the horizontal recoil. So the vertical recoil is not that bad, but your horizontal recoil keeps wanting to go side to side. So you want to build this with the maximum horizontal recoil control as you can. So we have the MX Silencer, the Empress 613 barrel, the ZAC MS stock. So this stock has your aiming stability and your horizontal recoil control. I did try it with the Empress notched and it didn't really help with that, and the Empress AVT. And this is initial firing recoil on this stock. And you can definitely tell the first few bullets coming out of the gun are okay, and then sustained firing recoil is crazy. So the ZAC MS is definitely the way to go to have a good steady performance out of this gun. And then we have the strafe angled underbarrel, again bringing you that horizontal recoil control. The 60 round drum, I ran it with the 50, had good results as well. This is going to be preference. This 60 round drum does give you more recoil control, but you are going to lose a little bit of damage range and bullet velocity. But if you're on Rebirth Island or Fortune's Keep, you're not going to really know a difference. If you're running this for Caldera, I would throw on this 50 round mag. Absolutely, to get as much range and bullet velocity as you can. Perfectionist. So this is probably the biggest component for this AR. Perfectionist is giving you recoil control. I did try it with brace, and again, this is just initial firing recoil. So after those first few bullets come out, it's not really helpful. So perfectionist is definitely the way to go for this AR. And then hatched grip, again, horizontal and vertical recoil control with flinch resistance. A lot of people tend to go towards polymer. I didn't really try it out with the polymer. I'd be interested to know what you guys think of the performance with the polymer grip, because I know that tends to be the go-to for the long-range ARs. This Nikita Really good for Rebirth Island, really good for Fortune's Keep. I think once we get a nerf to the NZ, I'm very curious to see if this AR gets any adjustments at all. One thing I would love to see is a little bit more bullet velocity and damage range, because I feel like it doesn't get quite as much bullet velocity as the NZ. If it gets any type of adjustments to bullet velocity, I think it very well could be meta. So now let's look at the stats and the TTK of these weapons. All right, so this is the TTKs for all four weapons. So starting out, the NZ is here in orange, and you can see once we hit about 35 meters, that's when your time to kill kind of, you know, kicks up and you have a little bit more drop. The Automaton is very consistent, so the TTK does not change with the Automaton until you're close to 50 meters out, which is different from these other ARs that we have on this list. Then we have the KG M40. It's just barely above that NZ41 on time to kill. So the NZ is at 798 and the KG is at 837. So it's a very small gap. And their curves as far as TTK and drop off are almost identical. And then in light blue, we have the Nikita. And you can see a major gap here between the Nikita and the NZ41. So the Nikita is sitting at, 693 milliseconds, and the NZ is sitting at 798. Huge difference in TTK between these two rifles. And I can definitely tell, I mean, firing the Nikita, it will put down your enemy very quickly. Damage to the upper torso, again, the Nikita, way more damage to the upper torso, as well as the Automaton, KG. All of these do a little bit more damage to the upper torso compared to the NZ. Average time to kill, again, the Nikita takes the prize there. Automaton, I just love how consistent its TTK curve is. All of these other ARs tend to, kick up in TTK around the same spot, but the Automaton stays fairly consistent. And then probability of achieving the TTK. So this is how likely you are to actually hit that. And this is why the NZ is so favorable. You've got an 87% chance of hitting this TTK, whereas when you look at the Nikita, it really depends on your build, your recoil control. The KG is up there, and so is the Automaton as far as your likelihood to hit that TTK numbers. So it's all about preference. If you want a gun that requires a little bit more skill and also has a crazy TTK, the Nikita would be great. If you're wanting for something that's very well-rounded, I would recommend the KG or the Automaton. Either way, I've been enjoying all three of these weapons instead of the NZ, and I'd be very interested to know which ones you guys are using and if this was helpful. I will be back once the new update drops, and we'll go over the patch notes and if there are any changes to this video. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed today's video, consider subscribing.